Good morning, friends. Live, coming at you from west Michigan, hot off the train tracks. This November 6th, 2023. Pretty warm this morning compared to what it has been. Hope this video finds you well. Everybody's hustling and bustling this morning here, Sparta, Michigan, as if everything is as it should be. Of course, what should we expect? The world's on fire, how about yours? That's the way I like it, and I never get bored. Who doesn't love some good Smash Mouth, right? Or Shrek. Shrek. Donkey. It's time for us to find ourselves some shelter. Find shelter in the Lord. Terrible impression, but the only thing I can do fairly well is, like Kermit the Frog. Kermit the Frog has an important message for you. Prepare. Make straight the way of the Lord. After all, I am and have been a Christian, a church-going Christian. Make sure to give my tithes to the church. Give my 10%, then I'll give my 30% to the government. Give to Caesar what is Caesar's. But the last time I checked, Caesar's not alive. And he and I own nothing. Do you own the land that you're on? Maybe you have a deed for it. But how did you come to own the land? Did you create it? Were you the author? I dare say you have no authority. You're simply just a steward of the land. Yesterday's church service, the one at the building down in the big city, that service talked about healing the lepers. There were 10 of them. Only one came back and bowed down to the Lord after he was healed. A Samaritan. And according to these scholars, the Samaritan was reviled. The Jews would go around Samaria so they don't become defiled themselves, Basically put a wall around it and hated them. That's where the story of the Good Samaritan comes from, right? Everybody just goes past the man who is in need of help, and the Samaritan stops. The unlikely hero. So I did a little digging in the etymology of Samaritan, and it means like one who's keeping watch. Keeping watch. Are you keeping watch? Man, it's windy. Windy as fuck out here. It's the opposite. A little joystick's the opposite. I want to go up, I gotta push down. Cletus. He doesn't know boundaries. He's like, I want to check this out. I want to check it out. The Samaritans keeping watch. The Jews, on the other hand, they were the chosen people. They don't need to keep watch. Because they're a shoo-in. There is no chosen. The birthright. You aren't guaranteed a place. Be vigilant and run the race. Doing some work. Making a lot of progress on this. Probably look back at these videos and see the progress they've made here. Even from the last 14 days. Which reminds me, I was gonna say something. Today's day 14, 2 weeks. Two weeks in. And really, there's only like 2 days that were a little more challenging to fulfill the quota. When it was pouring rain and when I went hunting, and saw nothing, right? Come on. But here we are, almost halfway, keeping watch. Reminds me of the story of bridegroom. I don't remember the details. Keeping their lamp lit and being prepared. And some didn't keep the oil, didn't have enough. And they were left outside. And many Christians, or the doctrine points to this as sort of you're left out, you're in eternity, eternal hell, essentially. Or that we're keeping watch for the Lord's return, and he's going to be coming on the clouds on a white horse. Come here, boy. Come up here. I don't believe any of that, but what do I know? I'm just a gorilla. Or, no, that's Paul. That's Paul and Slade. He's the gorilla. I'm just a giant teddy bear. Often mistaken as Bigfoot. Are you keeping watch? Are you ready for the coming of the Lord? What are they doing? Oh, there's a lot more to the Bible than just the stories that were told by the most well-known commentators and interpreters. Because you are the interpreter. What does it say to you? Huh? This bus is just sitting here. Come here. Come here, boy. Good boy. Stay up here. There's no sidewalk here. It's like not allowed to walk on the sidewalk. Oh. Come here, boy. Come here. There goes the stop sign. Stay right here. Cletus, come here. Come here. Sit. Come here. Sit. What do you want? You want a treat? Is that why you're speaking? Come here, boy. Come here. Come here. I'm like corralling my dog. Come here, boy. Because he really wants to go in the street. Oh no. Dog. I'm gonna go to the other side again. Is there a sidewalk over there? It's like constant over here. Come here. Come here, good boy. Hey, you. Come here. Come here. Cletus. Come here. Come here. Come here, boy. Cletus. Right here. Stay. Right here. Right here. Cletus. Good boy. Come here. Cletus. Come right here. Come over here. Morning. Good. How you doing, man? Not going that way. We'll stay over here. Past the other walkers. Who walks? I'm the only one allowed to walk. Best broadcast, hands down, Paul Enslaved at the Pimp Unslaved channel, PIMP Unslaved. Proper instruction motivates people. You know. So keeping watch. I mean, even knowing that Samaria has this etymology, is digging deeper into the words and not just forcing them into a historical context where you can track it on a map. Because they'll change the names of cities to fulfill an agenda if they want to. I don't know what the history of the land where the state of Israel is on, what the history is, and what places were called even a few hundred years ago during Palestinian the time that Palestine was on the land before they were forced out because of Israel's birthright, based on some historical account of the Old Testament. But they still abandoned the New Testament account because it says the Jews crucified the Lord, just like they did with the prophets before them. So, Euclidus! Euclidus! What do you see? The car just honked at my dog. Or he's just giving a shout out. Neighbors across the street. Entire plots of land dedicated to the dead. Why? Why do we worship the dead? And we condemn the living. Force them to do things. And then praise the dead. Unless it's, some terrible person. Then they hate on them. But they still, at the end of the day, no matter what happened during World War II, they perpetuate Hitler. They continue to perpetuate the name. If they wanted to destroy that, they would, right? There's plenty of things that have been sort of burned in the annals of history. Sort of book burning, the Library of Alexandria. And we have an even easier way of burning the books now, as they all are converted to digital. And just a click of the finger, it's gone or altered. I guess that's just conspiracy, but either way, why would you continually perpetuate the idea when it's so heinous? But then if you want to point at anything else that's heinous, that may be from the same people victiming, you're bad and wrong. You have entire movements that were built on the backs of people who would be disgusted by what has come of it, that didn't even have even an iota or inkling of what was being done now in their mind, when if the historical account of Jesus is to be believed, which I don't have a problem with saying that there's history there, to see what's happening now in Christianity is an atrocity. I mean, basically becoming what he talked against within Judaism. Now there's scribes and Pharisees and lawyers all throughout Christianity. It's blasphemous. You're ruled by the words of men. Against what Jesus was talking about. Or Martin Luther, who, was raised up in the Catholic Church, and then he saw a major problem there, and he went against that order, against those claiming to have a monopoly on God. And now Lutheranism is essentially just an offshoot of Catholicism. Same historical context, just without all their rules. They just have their own fucking rules. Come on, Clay. I mean, really, every denomination is a subsidiary of the Catholic Church to broaden the acceptance. And they still pay tribute, or their constituents, their acolytes, their followers pay tribute to Caesar, or quote unquote the state up corporation. Which the church holds allegiance to, or vice versa. Who knows how that exactly works? I'm not a theorist, conspiracy theorist or anything. It's just having a little bit of awareness of yourself and others. I mean, you can kind of see the game. When you come to recognize that you have to, in this life, take the path of making your own way to the way and going back to source, and you're born into sin, your bodily identification, where everything is bodily identification. Like, the reason you don't go against the rules, because your body might be put in a box. The reason that you take the medication, because your body might die. The reason that you're crazy is that your body is not the same as others. And all the other problems are quote-unquote problems. I'm gay, bodily identified. I'm a he, her. Gender identity, I feel. That's bodily identification. Are you your body? No. When your body dies, you live on. Because you are your spirit. You are awareness. Come here. Hi. I always get on this point. This is what goes in my head. I'm preaching to myself. Hearing myself say these things to cement it in. Because I have a history of depression. Which is a shame cycle for what the body has done while you were identified with it. And it comes, you know, when you repeat that, because that program that you've ran is so hard grained into you that you keep sort of muscle memory back into it. Or when I have anxiety, that's my bodily identification with the future me, which I'm worried about what's going to happen to my body. And it is at times challenging to see the world around you and feel as though you are sort of a outlier or like alone, when you're truly never alone. And most people know not what they do. I certainly didn't when I was attached to that. Hey, boy. Beautiful, beautiful morning. As soon as I say the words, it starts to rain. You know, I was leaving the house and it had rained earlier in the day, and I thought, it stopped. I'm just gonna leave it so I don't have to carry it. And here we are. It's raining a bit. I don't know if it'll stop. I know my phone's waterproof. I don't know about this gimbal, or how long the rain will last. But I'm like, why? I was gonna check the weather, and I'm like, you know what? What did we do before we could just click the weather? Probably have a sense of things, a natural instinct. Probably should have listened to that when I thought grab the umbrella. But it stopped. It's okay. At this point, I talk to myself into a camera. I have few viewers, and the average view time is 1 minute 30 seconds at this point. Most of the videos. So, as I talk for 30 plus minutes, I'm talking to myself. Maybe someday somebody will see this and resonate. And even if not, I talk to myself so I can hear myself. I hear the I am presence within me. Go, Cleat. Sit. Shake. Good boy. Right away with the left paw. What a guy. What a guy. It's too hot. I got a lot going on this week, just like every week. Work, work, work. Keep it up. Keep it up. Don't stop. You are your biggest enemy. Overcome that bodily identification or that flesh, sinful nature. It's just sort of a way of living. It's kind of amazing how nowadays I'll go somewhere and see like football on the TV and be like, oh yeah, I guess there's football on Sunday. It doesn't even come into my awareness until I see it on a TV. I don't even think about it. Even like the college football that I used to watch so often doesn't even come into my awareness. I think about sharing the awareness that I have, speaking it, and praying that I can share that with others. And I can follow through with this commitment I've made to myself. It's not a commitment to someone else. The commitment to others is something that I do struggle with, because what allegiance do I have to them? But to myself, if I'm not taking care of myself, how can I possibly take care of them or be there for them? So the habit is to be established first thing where I am with myself, sharing, communicating what's inside of me. And there's part of me that's desperate to be heard. But the other part of me has to surrender the outcome. Because so often in the past, I've desired the outcome And then with that desired outcome comes disappointment. If it doesn't happen the way you think it should or you want it to. It's so pretty, even with houses in view. A couple shots, myself and my messy hair. You know, like one of those. And let's see, you know, I don't know, I think I need one from the other angle, because I always like to do like one there, one there. Maybe I should do one like from the top, you know, like from the top corner, where it's just the head. It's like this, looking down. Well, I'm just gonna keep it rolling. Why not? I mean, I gotta splice this with another one from before I started, before my wife called, and I answered that. A little more work for me, but that's okay. What's your day look like? What's your week look like? What's your year look like? What's your 5-year goal? How about just your goal for the day? People ask me about long-term goals, and I'm like, you know, I probably should have them as a matter of faith, right? Like, I'm gonna make this goal. Not because I'm cocky and expect it to happen, but because my God is faithful and He will provide. And the goal isn't about that. It's about having something to focus on that's ahead of you, it's in front of you. I guess there's also part of me that doesn't want to make goals, because I don't want to be invested and then find disappointment, because that goal starts to become an expectation. That's your goal. And I think my ultimate goal, or maybe that's why I feel that way, is that the goals that I've set they're physical, and they should be, or I ought to make them metaphysical, so as to, you know, have a little fire behind it. It's not a physical outcome, it's a metaphysical outcome. And watch what happens. I guess that's what I've done here, is I have no goal as to I'm gonna get X amount of subscribers and I'm gonna have X amount of views, and because then I'm gonna do something that's not really authentic. Gotta spend a bunch of time editing them. Thought about it when I talk for hours, and you know, there's that inkling of hope somebody, like people will start to care and you'll have some success. The metrics that are with YouTube. But I'm not sure what I talk about is really designed that way. And I can't imagine focusing my attention on anything else. But there is the relatability. Like, I wake up every morning, I go to work each day, you know. I'm gonna pack myself, I'm gonna rent myself a house in the shade of the freeway. I'm gonna pack my lunch in the morning and go to work each day. And when the evening rolls around, I go on home and lay my body down. And when the morning light comes streaming in, I'll get up and do it again. Amen. I think that song, Pretender by Jackson Browne, tends to encapsulate a lot of what we experience, where we go out pretending, and deep down we don't really feel it. We're just a character that we're playing, or an actor. And I guess there's nothing really wrong with it if you're aware of it. Over here. You can walk on here now. See that new movie come out? Yeah, me neither. My wife said she wanted to watch a movie. Hey, sit. 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 Cletus. Sit. And I'm like, which one? I don't know. Well, I sure as shit do not have any idea what's out there. I'm not paying attention to that. I do pay attention too much to things like TikTok and Facebook. Just not doing things. Sort of stuck on the dopamine cycle. Because the things that require my attention aren't exactly things that I want to do, right? Who cares what you want to do? Do it. Because you have to. Do it because you need to. And then when it's all said and done, you'll rest and have what you need. And that's all you'll desire. So all your needs and wants will be met. Because you want what you need. Oh Lord. May my wants align with my needs, so I shall not want. And I think that's a good spot for me to be done. I pray that the peace that passes all understanding will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. Amen. Love you. God bless.